What's up, everybody? Welcome to Primetime Scoreboard. I'm your host, Chris Williamson, and we will be providing you with updates centered around Monday Night Football and also getting you set for MLB Wildcard Tuesday. But we first start with the game of the night, Seahawks and Giants. And right now, not a whole lot of action in terms of points being scored. It is 0-0 with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. One note, though, Jamal Adams, a great safety, as we saw with the Jets, now with the Seahawks, has been ruled out for this game because of a concussion. He was just making his return, so this is devastating for not only him, but the Seahawks organization as well. All right, we now bring in Sportsline NFL analyst and Vegas insider Todd Fuhrman. And Todd, so far we've had maybe a potential touchdown that was called back, as you saw Kenneth Walker's cheeks, that's the only way to put it, right behind, actually was on the ground on that tackle. Are you surprised that we have a 0-0 game between these two squads?
I mean, Chris, when you're 10-plus minutes into a game, and to your point, the most exciting play we've seen so far is the was it a touchdown, wasn't it a touchdown? Kenneth Walker dancing around before they finally blew the play dead, only to have it come back to be a 2-yard loss. Speaks volumes about what we've seen thus far. But I think the big takeaway for me, at least for the first two drives, is the Giants offense has a lot of problems that's going to take them a while to fix. You lose your starting center and John Michael Schmitz as well on that opening series. So an offensive line that was banged up is forced to go to Shane Lemieux, and I'm not sure it's going to get significantly better. You also brought up the Jamal Adams situation. He looked as irate on the sidelines after talking to the independent neurologist as a lot of sports bettors did last night when Patrick Mahomes slid down inside the 3-yard line, allowing the Chiefs to kneel it out and keeping Jets backers in their good graces with that plus 8.5 ticket.
All right, so the live total right now, or live over-under, is 37.5. Are you going to take the under based on what we've seen so far and with what the Seahawks and the Giants are working with?
I mean, we keep blinking and all we get is some yellow laundry on the field, another penalty here, another penalty there. Look, at this rate, this may be the first team to 10 that gets out of Dodge alive at this juncture. So for me, I actually leaned over in the full game beforehand at 46, but I've seen enough from this Giants offense that I have some real reservations. And quite frankly, if Seattle doesn't build a lead and the Giants aren't pushed, I'm not sure where the big plays come from. So I don't think you're stealing anything right now on that live total, but I would lean ever so slightly under. And I would look at Seattle here if you can get them at a price tag right around a field goal. 3.5, though, where it currently sits, probably stay away territory for me, at least at this juncture.
All right, great. Great stuff right there. And I know it's Monday, man, but let's look ahead to a very succulent matchup between Dallas and San Francisco, which could decide the king of the NFC at the moment, at least. 49ers open as 3.5-point favorites. What do you think of this line, and where do you think it's going to close?
You know, I actually think it's a pretty fair reflection of where these two teams are. When you build in home field advantage, you know about the circadian rhythm and the bio clock for, you know, Dallas flying out of the Central Time Zone, playing on Sunday Night Football. The 49ers have been one of the best bets when you can back them at home, and it hasn't really mattered how big those numbers are. This is a little bit of a modest price tag. I actually think you're going to see this number sit right around 3.5, and would be more inclined to believe it gets to 4 than coming down to that field goal price tag. But Chris, when I look at the top line markets for this game, I think the total is slightly more intriguing. I don't show a lot of wiggle room right now where it currently sits at 45, but you look at this 49ers defense, and I think it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors early in the year, especially when they play a vertical passing game. You go through the schedule of opponents, most recently the Arizona Cardinals. The 16 points Arizona put on the board, not indicative of how Josh Dobbs and company were able to move the ball. They played the Giants on a short week, who probably could have used guys like you and me to get out there and block for Daniel Jones. And way back in week 1, this was a 49ers team that was able to completely overwhelm the Steelers the one time they stepped up in class, albeit on the road against the Los Angeles Rams. They surrendered 23 points. So I think we could be in store for a few offensive fireworks from these two teams, and all it takes is one of those squads facing a double-digit deficit for the playbook to kind of go out the window and it to become a full-on aerial assault, even for a Cowboys offense that's still seeking its offensive identity with Mike McCarthy as the play caller.
Absolutely, but on the 49ers side, they've got weapons galore, so I expect them to score a whole bunch if they play up to their caliber. Todd Fuhrman, thanks so much for the insight, man. Let's get back to Monday Night Football. It is still, what a surprise, 0-0 between the Seahawks and the Giants. We're now just under 2 minutes ago in the first quarter, and we will have updates from this game at the top of the hour. Geno Smith, 5 of 6, 39 yards. Daniel Jones, 24 rushing yards, but again, not a whole lot of fireworks in this one to start.